The politicians disappeared, it seems, quite quickly under the advice of their security officers. However, the king tried to maintain conversations with some of the people there. He may be conscious that he's not really the target of the criticism because he has no effective power to try and respond to a natural disaster.
Graham Keeley, a journalist based in Spain. Good afternoon, Graham.
Good afternoon, Theo.
Could you just start by bringing us up to date with the latest events in the last few hours in Spain as the country continues to try to get to grips with the aftermath of those catastrophic floods?
Yes, well, sadly, the death toll has actually risen to 217 people, and the search goes on for any possible survivors. As you said, the King of Spain, the Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez, and the Valencian leader Carlos Mazón met with a less than friendly visit when they went to Paiporta. This is a suburb of Valencia, which has been the worst hit. 60 people from that area have died in the floods. They were pelted with mud and some stones. People shouted "killers" and told them to go away. It was a very tense situation. The politicians disappeared, it seems, quite quickly under the advice of their security officers. However, the king tried to maintain conversations with some of the people there. He may be conscious that he's not really the target of the criticism because he has no effective power to try and respond to a natural disaster. But it was a very tense situation, and it demonstrates the anger of people in Valencia at the moment.
What's the cause of this anger specifically? It seems obvious, there have been a series of catastrophic floods. We've seen the devastation. We've seen people try to, come to terms or search for survivors, clean up the mess. But is there a particular issue that is getting at people's wicks when it comes to the way the governments or governments within Spain have dealt with this crisis?
Well, it's simply 5 days on after the floods. People haven't seen much help. There's been all this talk of thousands of troops getting there and thousands of police officers arriving, but local people are still cleaning up their own homes and struggling without good water supply. And some of them are in desperate shortage of food. So they're saying all these words are good, but where's the real help? And that was what sparked the incidents today.
And finally, more bad weather's on the way, is that right?
Yes, I'm afraid so. More heavy rain, perhaps not as bad as happened earlier this week. But it's not just in Valencia, it's a kind of up the southeast coast of Spain, up to places like Castellón, up into Catalonia in northeast Spain. And so there have been warnings, and I've just seen a message from the Catalan regional government saying, look, we're going to suspend schools in certain areas of the region. This is obviously trying to prevent a repeat of what has happened in Valencia.
Graham Keeley, journalist based in Spain, thank you so much for your time.
Sunday morning, thousands of volunteers are continuing to help rescuers in and around Valencia in the aftermath of the flooding disaster. But anger is growing towards the authorities at how slow the response has been. Survivors are still being found. In fact, we heard on breakfast this morning that a woman was rescued from underneath piled up cars. She'd been trapped there since Wednesday. Let's speak now to Rafa Vienna and his daughter ATR, both volunteers helping with the cleanup and search operation. Rafa and ATR, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. Rafa, first of all, can you explain to us what you are doing and why you felt you wanted to be involved?
Well, we are trying to help all the affected villages by the floods because it's been horrible. It's been one of the huge floods we had since 1957 when we had the flood in the city, and they changed the riverbed to avoid it again. So we are doing as much as possible. We are going into the site to remove the mud, to help people to clean their houses, and at the same time we are assisting some businessmen, some entrepreneurs to incorporate a charity association to help all those that have lost all their businesses, trucks, all their means of life that they were using.
ECR, can you explain to us what it is like? How bad is the destruction and the difficulties that people face?
It's, it looks like a apocalypse, like cars on top of others, people that have lost their houses, their business, and now they have no resource to get money or to continue with their lives. And it's very sad. Like yesterday I was helping this old couple that have lost their house, and it was a very, very old house that has been in this that was built 100 years ago, and now it's destroyed. And
it's everything.
Yeah.
You have no infrastructure, so there's no heavy machinery that can enter and help cleaning. There's no food, there's no water, it has been really 4 days of chaos in the area.
Yeah. And the chaos, Rafa, on that theme, we understand that there are around 100,000 volunteers who are now registered to help in this situation. How easy or difficult are you finding it? Is it coordinated? Does it need to be coordinated? Are you simply, walking the streets and finding people who need help, or is there some sort of official coordination going on?
Yeah, it's more informal help. The government has created, created an access point for volunteers to access the affected area, but it's not working. So people is just walking to the sites and doing what they can with their hands. It's crazy how people has mobilized with what they have at home to help the people over there.
And ETR, what is it like when you are there with other people? You're walking around, you're trying to help. Is there a sense of gratitude? I'm trying to understand how people are feeling in the aftermath of something so awful.
Yeah, when you help people, they're very grateful for the work you did. Like, for example, yesterday my shoes broke, and the old man we were working with tried to find me a new pair of shoes because I had to go back home walking, and it's like more than 2 hours walk.
Wow. So you're walking 2 hours to get to where you were then working. Gosh. And Rafa, I do just want to ask you as well about the criticism of the government response. You say there the infrastructure is non-existent. We are hearing reports that people are very critical of the regional government particularly. Is that a feeling that you are picking up as well?
Well, I think it's not the moment to blame in a particular government. I think it's a moment to join forces to get things done. But it's also true that there has been no coordination between administrations, and when they send the alarm to the population, it was already too late, and many people, they were in their garages trying to save their cars, and they got caught. I mean, according to the last figures, there's still more than 20,000 people missing, and there's only, I think it's a couple of hundred, or between 200 and 300 that they have been found already. So it's still, I mean, a lot of people to be found and hopefully alive, which is quite unlikely.
Of course.
And this is, for me, this is the big fault, that there was no coordination in the area. There was barely, I mean, there was small raining here in the coast, and in the mountains there was a lot of raining, and no one advised that the rivers were coming downstream with such a strong current. That's the thing.
Yeah, of course. Rafa and ETR, thank you both very much, and it's amazing to hear of what you are doing to help. So thank you for telling us about it. It's great to have you on.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, all the best. That is Rafa Vienna and his daughter ECR, both among the 100,000 volunteers who are, as they say, kind of quite informally walking around and helping people who have been affected by the awful flooding. And Rafa saying that there are 20,000 people still missing.